I
Try
have a
this.
note taker, but I don't use that. So I just told it to go away.
Okay, well, either way, we're live. And I could not.
Yay!
First of all, I knew we are gonna scream when we see each other because it's just so good. I got all lit up inside. How are you feeling?
I feel the
What's the
same
real?
way. Like just
So,
thinking about you, I get like all lit up.
oh my God. How come?
Yeah. That's a great question. I think from the very moment I got to sit with you and hear from you, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I this woman is sparkly and I want to be close to her."
Uh, I knew it when I wrote you an email. I was like, I know there's a sense of me inside that we will continue where we stopped as if nothing happened in the last couple of months. So, and
Yeah.
here
Thank
we are.
goodness. Thank goodness for that.
I'm
I love
so,
how that works across the miles and across time. I feel the same way.
I know. And I'm very
Mm.
comfortable. And I want to literally just give a word to the feeling of home. There is this sense of, oh, I know you from somewhere because I've already been with you in the space we shared and we merged and I feel safe. So there was a certain relaxation in my body that happened. And I was like, oh, I could just be me, damn it,
Yeah, I
in
don't
front
have to
of
think about
you.
this. I don't have to prepare for this. Like I just get to show up and be with this person who feels like home to me. And I love that. And I
Yeah.
feel a sense, I don't know if the word is home. I feel a sense of recognition and safety. That's really it. Like I recognize the safe space in you that I just want to be close to. So it is home like, but
Yeah.
home can have weird connotations, especially when
Yeah.
you live with three teenagers.
Oh, there
Right?
you go.
You're just
Yes.
like, oh
Yes.
God, home, it's loud. It's like, ugh. But yeah, it's like a feeling of familiarity and comfort and
Yeah.
aliveness at the same time.
Yeah, and that safety, that's what we're going to talk about today. And at the same time, I think that safety is such a recognizable feeling, especially when you share your vulnerability with someone. And that's how I
Totally.
feel like you and I were so vulnerable on the program together a couple months ago that we just almost like we were so almost open to be we were exposed. We were in our nakedness, in our soul being naked. And it was just almost like so gentle and so fragile. And we were in a space where we knew how to hold one another. And I think this is exactly what built the trust. This was my experience. So maybe you can share
Absolutely.
yours.
Yeah, that feels that in all of those words are so beautiful. My little note taker is doing weird things, but
Yeah.
no, that just what you described is so beautiful, and I love your words. And for me, I mean, knowing, getting to just be around you, the energy immediately felt safe, right? Just kind of, I can show up as myself with this person and hoping she feels the same way. And I remember like how vulnerable it was to walk up to you. I felt like I was like a nervous, like, teenager who was like asking someone on a date in a way. I was like, hey, would you maybe be my partner for this very, very, very vulnerable experience that we're being invited to? And to ask and to like even like open to you saying no. And and like I had no expectation, and it was so vulnerable to really feel like there's no one else in this room that I want to do this very exposing naked practice with than this person. And then to ask, like, it's one thing to feel it, and then it's another thing to actually ask, like, okay, I'm going to walk up to her and she might say no, and like, that's okay. But knowing that I wanted it, that deep desire to like, yeah, to be able to be in that space with you was overcame the nerves of maybe you saying like, no, I don't feel the same way, like, get away from me, weirdo.
Oh no. But you see, but you see, you're touching such a deep, deep connection to the self, right? So it's almost like you said, your nerves overcome our behavior, like they take over. And when we listen to the nervous system, it's almost like its job is to protect us from such states, from such exposures, right? So you were able to trust something inside of you that was so much deeper. And I think I really, really deeply believe, Kathryn, that when we meet at such a deep level or such a high level, that almost not bypasses, but almost goes through these veils and thickness of walls of resistances, then we actually mutually exchange similar. Uh, and I'll take this just, I'll just speak from my experiences. Like I
Mhm.
usually meet with the same exact feeling a soul at that level. So to answer, just to kind of add to what you were saying, is like I met you right there and it was automatic yes because you were in yes too. So I didn't really question, of course. It was automatically just connected. So the to have the sense of possible rejection is like almost like this inner battle that we have to deal with on our own,
Yes.
you
It's like,
know?
is the outcome or this like what I know is on the other side bigger than, my own fear of rejection or yeah, exactly. So it's beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
and I love you just talking about meeting at that soul level. It's such an amazing reminder and not always accessible in our daily
Yeah.
lives. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. And it's very, very rare. Very rare. So how how are you after the retreat? And were these walls just, did the walls just come back right up to do their own role in life?
Mhm.
Or were you able to maintain such openness, such rawness to the world that brings more danger and threat than soothing
Yeah.
nurture?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, I think I shared this with you, but the last day of the retreat, I actually had my biggest kind of breakthrough. And it
Oh,
was
yeah, I
also
remember.
my most challenging breakthrough. And I mean, it was strange how it happened the last day. And I'm also really grateful. So I went home in a very, very tender state. Like I didn't feel like, oh, that was great. Now I'm, moving into my life. Like I was kind of burst wide open on that last day. And I remember the first couple days back, I went to a local hot springs and I sat in the pool. It was like 98 degrees, like a womb. And I literally just sat in this pool for hours and I just breathed and I moved as if I was, you know, creating that really womb-like space for myself. And so it continued on, that first kind of week or so, I was still in process. And that's a great question. Did the walls come back? I hope not. I think at whatever level they need to be here, obviously for day to day life, like they're here. And I'll never forget the, embodied experience of being so incredibly held and safe and like raw and just so seen um, at the deepest
Mhm.
level, right? And it makes me crave that so much more in my relationships. So
Mm.
maybe like I'm not spending time so much with people who, you know, don't have capacity for any of that and really leaning into relationships and kind of inviting those relationships to get closer to that space. So I can't say it
Nice.
100% stayed with me. I mean, we were eating such good food and like we had no other responsibilities. So that was, a different environment. How about you? Like what did you leave with that just felt that still feels alive in you?
In many ways, I think these deep practices, especially in the retreats like that, in Vita retreat, that are very vulnerable, they open me to such rawness. Like you said, I'm so fragile after that. I this time around, I was very introverted. I was so gentle with my yin energy.
Mm,
And when we're exposed to that, some imprint happens. Something changes on a deep, deep level, and either in our nervous system or either in I can't say genetics itself, but something prints in the way then I show up to the world. And I don't know what it is until much later. And this is where I have a theory that the true answers of the questions are live in the future. So much later, I'll find out what that was that changed my trajectory of who I
Mhm.
became. And what I'm noticing is that I am much more gentle with the world in general. So my relationship, the way I speak, how I behave, how I show up to the world completely is changing. And it's still in process of changing. I am softer, but
Mm.
softer not because I'm more open to being hurt, but rather than because I recognize the vulnerability and I recognize this intimate part of me that actually desires to create my next step in life. And I cannot compromise it anymore. And I'm almost like it's uncompromisable, but I have to do the work to protect it and still continue being open to love, to hurt, to pain, to experiences, to failures, to successes, to everything else, and still feed from my own rawness because there's something right underneath it. And all the way up to this retreat this year, I was very extroverted. I was very masculine in energy. I was very let's go, let's build, let's. And now it's like let's feel all of this.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
And I think I'm at the beginning of it. And this is where, oh, this is actually in a long run, something is getting reprogrammed deeply inside of me. And I'm about to kind of transform. So 5 years from now, I'm probably going to look at a different part of me. That's how I feel it.
Incredible that you can name it, right? That you can name this, like, it's almost like a softness inside of you that is going to transform, yeah, so much into your future and into your creation. And I'm really celebrating that for you. That's
Yeah.
so freaking sweet. Because you're not a mom, right? So,
No.
like, oh, it just reminds me of like what happens in motherhood where like we're just fucking burst wide open and
Mm,
like with this like tremendous kind of responsibility and connection to this like little being that changes our trajectory forever. It's like,
mhm.
so yeah, there's just a part of you being incubated and cared for, and it needs you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I find that it invites a different relationship to self, right? So, and it's almost like private. And I don't know if this is the case for you, but you know how us women we were taught to lean onto something else, or in general in relationship, we always look for else or another to kind
Mhm.
of come and put us all together, or to almost like pull this out of us, or almost like I see it as a supportive system that adds the richness to who you are. True. But at the same time, when such vulnerability shows up, it's almost like so gentle that we must learn how to take care of it our own. And
Yeah.
actually never compromise it and almost never close it. Because out there, I cannot explain how much the quality of love shows up in a different way, but only if I
Mhm.
know how to protect it. And I think this is where I think I see this is where my practice comes in. It's like, but I'm still going to be vulnerable by choice, though there is a threat coming left and right. So now I have to kind of, because out of that vulnerability, another me is getting birthed and I must take care of it. Right. So
Wow.
interesting, but that's the
That's so
intimacy.
cool. It is. It is the intimacy truly with yourself and with this very, very raw, tender part of you that is just
Yeah.
longing for like, yeah, your attention and love and safety, right? Like you were saying, we look for that outside, like, okay, are you safe and will you bring this out in me? And it's such an inner process
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
Seasons. So, how do you connect this intimate part of self? And
Mm, that's a great question. How do I connect to it? I feel like it's always there. And lately it's interesting because I think there's so much benefit to inner child work and really like, nurturing the parts of us that feel scared. So right now, I'm really launching my work into the world. So I'll use this as an example, right? You just seen me the other day. So I hired somebody to help me like edit my social media because I'm, not my thing. And I was like, can you, hired somebody to do my reels and my posts just to help them look better. And I put myself on a schedule. Okay, today is my social media day, right? And I literally woke up just like angsty and scared and like annoyed and aggravated and just like everything. And I didn't really realize what it was for a minute. And then I was like, looked at my calendar on my phone and I was like, oh, it's because it's my social media day. It's the day I'm actually like real letting myself be seen, right? And realizing how terrified I was, right? So yeah, I think, just that vulnerable piece, I sat with her, I kind of chatted with her, I held her, I rocked her, I did all the good, inner child reparenting, mothering pieces. And here's the other part that I realize is there's space for that, but you can't stay there. Like, it's kind of like a really good parent, right? If your child comes to you really hurt or scared, it's like, okay, I really see you. I really hear you. I really, really, really love you. And now we're going to get that fucking tripod out and we're going to make a video. Like, it's kind of like, so I feel like with that vulnerability, I'm always with it, but I try not to like, let it take over my
Mm,
life, right? But I feel like I really am so much better day after day after day at being with those little scared parts of me that are terrified to, be seen. And
yeah.
yeah, so I think there's a couple pieces to it. It's like I can feel it, but I'm not going to let it hold me back. I'm going to let it
Mm,
be there and be a part of how I am in the world, but I'm not going to let it, sabotage, the vulnerable fear. It's kind of like walking up to you at the retreat and asking you like, I'm really, really, really scared, but I'm going to take action. Like I
yeah.
still, am responsible. I'm going to take action. So I think that's a big piece is just doing all of the work. And I do a lot of, every day I do some kind of meditation to really honor those
Mm,
parts of me that are really vulnerable and raw and still learning to feel safe in the world. Even at
mm,
52, right? I'm like, oh, there's so
yeah.
many pieces that still need to feel safe. So
So
yeah,
many pieces.
daily.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing. I think it's like we're so conditioned to be afraid of being vulnerable just because there's legitimately there are threats. And I often think of WWW, World Wide Web of you're almost going to get crucified no matter what. Right? So it's like you're putting yourself out there so openly in a not to be almost because there's a desire to contribute, there is a desire to share. And what we share is what we discover in ourselves. And when we discover such deep, almost opening, cracking, evolutionary, almost this like expansive ways, these states either ascending or descending are so powerful in nature that they themselves want to be shared with people because something shifts in our evolution. And we never talk about why we want to go out there and share and help. And it's unquestionable essence that we tapped into that wants to come out and be shared with other people. And for us now, we have to figure out how to get to that point, and we have to literally pave our way slowly but surely. And this always reminds me, you're a mother. When you let one of your children take off alone in the world, even if it's in the valley or behind the house, a child, because I remember how I processed this when I was growing up in the age of 2, 3, 4, 5 developmental age. I would
Mm,
I would have this like almost like desire to discover and a little bit of fear. And I would be like afraid to go behind a corner, go climb up that tree or go behind that hill and discover the world. And then I would run back home. But I had a place to come back knowing it will not go away. So my safety was very much anchored into a motherhood, into a space temple, into a space where I can come back and reset and then go and explore the world. This to me is that exact thing. It's like we step forward. 45, 55, doesn't matter. We always inch a little bit more and more because our evolution itself wants to expand us. And
So
we have
true.
to honor
Oh,
it.
we have to. It's kind of like it is stronger than we us, right? It's like this thing that wants to share and expand, like you said, expand the world, expand consciousness, like help and serve, right? And it's like the 2, 3, 4, 5 year old who just wants to go. Yeah, I have to. I have to share. I have to serve. I have to help. And it's like, what's scarier, not doing that and hiding for the rest of my life, and or like getting out there and letting those stones be thrown, or letting the judgments come or the followers leave, or just like people ghosting you and you reach out to them. It's like, well, it's okay, because at least I'm honoring this like energy of life that wants to move through me. And so it's beautiful that you're doing that as well. I had a big realization, though, something that came yesterday. Is it okay if I share? And
Yes.
this might be familiar to you. I'm curious if you have it too. So, inner child, hug, love, like all the things, right? And then set boundaries, like, okay, thank you for letting me know. Now I'm going to move forward. I I also have had in the last couple of days a, a realization, just kind of a download, that actually this fear isn't mine. Like, this is so old. This is like beyond my childhood. This is beyond so much more. And I call it, and maybe Layla calls it this too, our teacher, the witch wound. But I really feel like this deep fear of being seen and being like crucified at some level or punished for being a healer, being a truth sayer, a messenger. And once I put it in that perspective, and I'm not sure if you've experienced this same thing, but once I did, I was like, oh, it's not even about me. It's about like this wounding of the feminine that is part of me, but this is why I'm here, is to not perpetuate that. I'm not going to stay small. I'm going to grow and share and speak and teach so that this wound heals. But it's not always
Mhm.
ours either. It's not even that vulnerable little girl. It could be like feminine, vulnerability that we're now evolving out of, and
Mhm.
getting bigger. So do you have the
Yeah.
witch wound, or do you call it something else? Because to me, you're like a beautiful fairy. So maybe you have a fairy wound.
Okay.
Mhm.
Kathryn, this is what came because I literally was like mapping your words as you were talking. You said something downloaded on me and it was bigger than me. And when you said downloaded rather than uploaded, to
Mhm.
me, there's a big difference of where this is coming from because something just hits you and you come to awareness or you come to a conscious mind is now aware of this real thing that hit you. You can either descend, download, or ascend, which is, I'm sorry, so it can ascend, so it can fall on you or it can get uploaded in you.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
it can be pulled from the sideways. This is very transpersonal psychology, almost like
Uh-huh.
in many senses, this we can either ascend in our evolution, we can descend in our evolution, or we can evolve with the collective and pick up. Everything is evolution, but you have to become almost like clear on what is your path. And when we do a lot of trauma up excavating, and you said, "I'm not going to park there," you already know. You see, there's another part of you that speaks. It says, "I'm gonna." Hold you, recognize you, acknowledge you, do everything that I can, but I'm not gonna stay there with you. Because out of that, I know something else inside of me comes in and speaks that we must move. and we must
Yes.
lighten up the load. And you're coming with me, and I'm going to do everything in my power that I know, aware, consciously, to bring you on board so you live with me in the present, because I have obligation and there's responsibility and something is yearning and pushing me
We
and
got
lighting up.
shit to do here. Like, we got shit
Yes.
to do. Like, come on.
Yes.
Yes. Because this is bigger. Yeah. Yes.
And you see that it's bigger. I think that changes the whole point of, and almost like this higher than self purpose must be found someplace else, right? So it's almost like you must be out of your mind crazy. Okay. I like to play this sentence a lot. You be out of your mind crazy to believe something that your mind cannot comprehend, which is much higher than you, more complex in its nature, and surrender to it fully and trust it. And you will never know what it is until much later. It's total unknown, a blank tabula rasa. You're about to enter into a space you've never been before. So, oh my God, isn't that crazy?
It's absolutely nuts. And isn't it like freaking exciting and like alive and terrifying and yeah, expansive. It's it's life. It's life like unfolding right there, right in the moment. Yeah.
Life force. It's a force, and it's
Mm.
pushing, and it's not even pulling. It's almost pushing you to act. And it's almost, in many ways, it's Eros itself, which is so
Oh, I love that.
right, because it wants to live. It wants to expand, expand, expand. It wants to live in its expansion. It wants to take the space larger, and it wants to evolve. It wants to become more complex, more complicated. It wants to be multi-layered, multi-dimensional. And it's just about us accepting the fact that we are that powerful, and that one step at a time, when our season comes in and we are about to ask someone on a date, or ask someone, hey, be my part, support me, this is complex, like, I know you're going through the same thing maybe tomorrow, but be there with me, I really need you. This call comes with a different set of sounds and different language, and it's
Mm.
so fragile and open. You almost have to know who to trust, to surrender into, so you can evolve. So tell me how you feel when I speak about it, because it's so intimate. It's so
Oh, it
deep.
really is. It really is. Well, and that, that just like starts to touch upon just the complexity of relationship, right? Like we have so much going on inside of ourselves. You just really, drew such a beautiful picture. We have so many parts in us. We have this desire to evolve. We have, generational trauma. We have historical things. We have so much inside of us. And then to think about like actually letting another person into our field and trusting them to like be with us in it. I mean, talk about courage,
And
right?
alter our space,
And
allowing that
alter.
person to come in and change us, because it does change our
Yes.
space.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. It's like two complete universes. Like we already have this huge universe inside and then another one coming and then creating a new one. It's like how do we even how do we even do that? Like we're magnificent that we actually can allow other people in. And it kind of goes back to our conversation. We let each other in, we let each
Yes.
other know it is safe to be, I'll be in my universe, you'll be in yours. And together we will create something even bigger
Yeah.
than the two of us. So it's beautiful, like just thinking about relationship to have that experience, to know it's possible, you know?
Hmm. Well, so well said. To have the experience because you already experienced it with someone. And I just
Mhm.
happen to be one of those many experiences, I assume. But we met at that level. We met at something that we couldn't understand, and we honored it because we both knew that was part of us that will sustain and be there. Like it is part of us to be vulnerable and be naked in our truth. And I remember when I came to you, it was a night when you gave up. You're like, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going in the morning. And then I said, everybody's dancing and they're all in ecstatic, like blissful, explosive states of sort of like uniting with goddesses and everything. And you're sitting out there literally in a corner. And I saw you all the way across. And I'm literally, I don't know why. I just came to you and I sat right next to you. I was like, what you doing? What are you? And how are you? But you see, in that moment, something happened that I didn't understand. You didn't understand, but I was invited by something else of you to come and join your space. So you and I just sat there, and I'm blanking out what happened after that. But we just sat there, and something shifted, and you came back for the practice that literally changed how you
It's
think
true.
about everything else.
I was like, I'm going to get on my phone and find a flight out of here. Like, I'm done. I can't. And yeah, like that, you coming and just being with me in that, that's what it is. It's, can I be with you, or can I let somebody be with me in this super, super vulnerable state that I'm experiencing? Right. And somehow you knew that you could be with me, and I knew I could be with you in that moment. And yeah, exactly.
And you didn't feel alone.
Yeah.
You
I
felt
didn't. I think
supported.
I did. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It almost like brings me to tears.
Mm,
I want to go back because I think you've gone more than once, right? You've been there twice. Is it twice?
3 times.
Three times. Okay. I love it.
It
Oh
never
my God.
stops. You continue coming back to more and more and more.
You're like, this is so hard. It's so great. It's so weird. It's so everything. I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm coming back now. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like childbirth. But yeah, yeah, just extraordinary. And it's so nice just to connect with you, and really it ignites that memory inside
Yeah.
of me.
So,
Yeah.
do you think we had to do something before this life together in order for that trust to be there as a compass to lean on? Shall
Say
we?
that again. Oh, yeah.
So, you know how when we don't understand something, we just apply it to past lives, the karma this, karma that, lineage, ancestry. We don't know is that if that is true. In all honesty, we will never know. Maybe later. But such connections that bond, like there's right, what you said, there's a bondage that happens,
Hmm.
and there's a instantaneous familiarity and this like recognition, how you said it in the beginning.
Yeah.
And when that happens, everything relaxes and none of it makes sense, and it happens with just specific souls. So do you
Hmm.
think that we already have some sort of compass or some sort of bondage that is coming from soul, from the past steps of becoming today this as a soul, from past lives, shall I
That's
call?
a really good question. And I mean, my initial answer is yes. And I really think that there is something to be said about just, I don't want to like overuse the word, but vibration. Like when you sense another being's vibration is similar to yours, you just come in. And I don't think that means like you have had like, oh, all these past lives experiences. Doesn't mean that. And maybe it does, like, but I think it's about like you meet each other in this space that you're, cultivated, or, it's part of you. And I think it's just you you are just drawn to each other in that way. Um, and I think our connection is very much about like safety and purity and like expansion. And I think sometimes you are drawn to people who like their frequency is so different than yours, and you have to like somehow there, but you're so drawn to each other, right? There's something there that you have to learn that might not be, you know twinkles and and rainbows and heart emojis. It could
Just say
just be,
no.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's a lot there too, it's a familiarity as well. And so what I'm saying is I feel like there's just the frequency is very complementary, when
Mm,
when you meet at that level. So what do you think? Do you feel like, do you have like the paradigm of past lives or yeah, other dimensions or like, yeah, how does it make sense to you?
I love when it doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to get so confused about what this whole thing is. So much
Ooh.
so that I don't want to know. Like part of me deeply doesn't want to know. So I started in the last couple of years trusting this less and less. None of it makes sense. And I think because my sense of where I end and I begin when the rest of the world begins started changing. And why I say this is like I couldn't, I even asked Amanda in on because I did the interview. I was like, "Do you know where your end of your energy is? Can you have a sense of borders, your own borders? You know how we sometimes back off physically, something in
Mhm.
us backs off from the another energies. Your body closes off when somebody wants to come in and kind of disrupt with their energy a lot of things. So there is a sense of ending and beginnings, and in many ways my future or my mind conscious mind my future started coming closer to me, meaning I no longer can actually plan ahead of the time. I don't have a sense of what is my next year it's going to be. I don't, and to me it's totally not. I remember my past line, but my future is shrinking and it's bringing me closer to present. And I no longer can understand that, but yet I'm just kind of letting it happen. So when these things pop up and these energies are blending in, like you said, it can be very nasty and it can be very supportive or kind of like in both ways. I allow them to kind of play its own tune into this timeline without much
Mhm.
force, but I'm very much aware of where I am getting pulled down versus getting lightened up. So, is your energy expanding me or contracting me? Is your energy supporting me in my evolution, or am I actually totally tensing and feeling like I'm drowning? And this distinctions are very clear to me. So that's when the boundary comes in and says, "Oh no," right? Versus, "Oh my God, yes, more, maybe more."
Yes. Yeah. So being so in the moment with the experience, not having to make sense of it, not having to define it, not having to understand it, right? Just being so in the moment with it that you feel it and know, yeah, is it expanding? Is it contracting? Is it sinking? Is it rising? That's incredible. I love that. And I think, you know, the beauty of, our relationship is there's nothing complicated there. Like it was not like, there was this romantic thing that was going to happen or any, wasn't that extra layer. And for me, that's where I find things get complicated in relationship, right? Is when we have, oh, does this person like me? Do they want to have a relationship with me? Do they want to have sex with me? Do they think I'm attractive? Like when you can take all that out, for me at least, it's so much easier just to feel the person. And wouldn't it be great if we could do that no matter what? Whether it was a date or a romantic partner or, a lover or whatever, if we didn't have any of this, like, do they like me? Are they going to reject me? Do they want more from me? What do they think of me? And all of that goes away and you just feel the person, right? Or
Mhm.
feel that other's energy. I don't know.
That
I
would
had
be
dinner. That would be amazing, right? Like that's how
that
I
would be
want to live. I'm thinking like, how do you do that?
so why do you think the romantic intimate brings so much almost closures, protections?
Yeah. Protection.
You kind of take on this shield, whether we like
Yes.
it or not. And yes, it's in our nervous system as well. It's in our childhood. And of course, we know all of this, that we attract our parents and all these different things. We're kind of becoming aware of what is happening. But something happens when romantic intimate comes to
Mhm.
play a role for you. I think and I'm curious to see how you understand it. And let's dissect it. Maybe we'll find some
Let's
sort of
dissect it.
perspective of
Yeah. Let's see.
it.
Okay, I'll go first. Just popcorning some thoughts is like I think the stakes get higher for some reason. There's like this here's what it feels like is when you're interested or when I'm interested in somebody and having a relationship or I'm attracted or I, want to see something in them. And even if I'm in partnership, with this person, for some reason, this feeling of like, am I really lovable? Like, can you see me as lovable? Do you desire me? Do you want me? Somehow it's like their response to me becomes like the stakes are higher. Like I can love myself very deeply and love all parts of me, but like, can you? Am I really lovable? Right? Am I really okay? Am I really, deserving of love? I don't know. That's kind of what comes to me first is like you have this mirror and you just like check it. Like, do you love me? That's maybe a me thing. So that's what
Mhm.
happens. It's like, I can love all of me, but can you love all of me? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm really like, maybe all this love that I feel inside that I know I'm worthy and deserving and amazing, maybe it's not really true. Can you make sure, can you reflect that back to me so I know it's
Mhm.
true, that I know I'm
Mhm.
lovable? So I don't know. For me, it feels like the stakes just get a little bit higher.
I love it.
Yeah.
And can I ask one more question? Is in
Yeah.
what area of connection? And you know how Esther Perel is really good in this. She back almost like reverses the pyramid and she goes, go back to bed and see who you are when you are intimate, when your language of communication is kiss, when there's no words that have a heavy meaning of who knows, and what. So build from there the relationship. Be intimate and vulnerable with someone. So rather than talking, because when I am trying to say something to you, I'm justifying who I am. I am standing for something. I am identifying. I have a statement and I have a stand. And if you happen to disagree with the meaning of the word, you and I are standing in opposition. And while we try, right, so there's this communication often back and forth, but this is right, but this is wrong, but this is right, but this is wrong. And as much as I'm trying to explain you through my metaphorical poetry, you're still gonna get your stoic understanding as you know
Mhm.
it, which will collide to close completely in a safety, right? So there's an emotional, intellectual, physical, and intimate safety. We're talking about the layers. So I'm curious, in which way do you feel this unlovability comes in play? In intellectual, in physical, or emotional or intimate safety.
That's a great question. I think the one that kind of stands out the most is, and this is probably my flavor personally, and this is also who I end up drawing in as clients. So it to me, it's my paradigm of it is like the emotional, right? Like,
Mhm.
can I be emotionally safe with you? Do you know my goodness? Do you see my lovability? Do you see me in all of my light and my dark, and will you still love me in that? So to me it feels more emotionally safe. And I love just that image of go back to bed and feel what that feels like, right? Because that's a different space. I maybe when you're like new lovers you have a little bit more of that, or like if your body's changed, or you have a little bit more of like, do you accept me? Do you love me? Do you find me desirable in bed? But I love that feeling of when you're just purely with somebody and you're just in the moment enjoying this energy exchange. It's very different, you're right, than when you have two people standing there trying to figure
Talking.
things out, talking.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How does that land for you? Like, what do you feel? Like, what realm is it in?
Corey was really nailed it when she said emotional safety has only two requirements. To feel emotionally safe, you need to have no agenda and no judgment. That changed my whole understanding of what emotionally safety. We don't have to get anywhere, which is we're not to climb the mountain in intimacy. There's no agenda. Let's just exchange. Let's just feel each other. And that comes and invites tuning into each other's needs, because the agenda is I don't want to change you, and I will do everything I can to explain, or maybe even in silence. I am not pulling away. I don't want to change you, but I have no agenda. I don't have any agenda. I'm just happen to go through something right now, right? So it's like, can you see me, hold me, feel me? I feel frightened in this moment, which will pass. So sit with me together, right? So I
No
love that. And
agenda.
no agenda and no judgment. And don't tell me I'm wrong, because and don't tell me what I need to do at the same time, because that's not the point. The point is sit with me. Let's share space. Let's allow our energies to blend in. And that's where this tunement comes in, which is very recognizable in the intimate moments of uniting together with another, not only body, but you're talking energy, mind, heart, soul, and you're now become naked. Words are eliminated. You close your eyes. All the inputs coming into our senses are all tuned into this body of frequency that is now coming and merging together. It's like, holy moly,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it a different language?
Entirely. Entirely. And to go into that space in that way with no agenda, no judgment, just purely there is that's extraordinary. And it's extraordinary. I mean, it really is. Like
It's magic.
when sometimes when I'm in that space with my partner, I'm just like, oh, this is why I was born. Like this is it. I get it. Now I get it. Like this is my home. This is my reward for like all the shit of life that I've had to go through. Like, oh, this is why I'm alive, right? Is this. So I really, really so appreciate that. And it's also true that, so much gets in the way. The agenda and the judgments get in the way of true, you know, communion in sex. I mean, there's so
True
many people that
intimacy.
don't enjoy sex at all. They don't want to have sex with their partners. They hate them. They can't stand them. They, it's so full of judgment and agenda. You can't even get to that space. So, yes, I love this. And I'm going to put it on my wall and I'm going to teach it to everyone. Thank you, Corey. Yeah. So, no agenda and no judgment is the qualifications for true intimacy. Sounds
Emotional
so
safety.
simple, right? Emotional safety. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is the state, how I understand it. This is where it lands on. This is where it down lands down on you. And he almost like or uploads from some sort of ways where you're like recognized that you need this. You need this in order to open up, to keep your heart open, to be
Mhm.
tuned into the life, to be open for life.
Yes.
And it's these moments of recognition. It's not sustained state that we're all aiming. No state is sustained state. Today I'm mad, and then I'm angry, and then I'm pissed, and then I'm happy, and then I'm ecstatic. It's like I change. None of it is sustained. Everything is just, like coming and going and showing up. And so even in these moments of intimate romantic, when we blend so much in, that I don't know where I end and you begin. We die. We almost dissolve so much.
Yeah.
It's just a moment. And that moment to me is that step in evolution. They must, it's beautiful to find, to feel, to honor, and to imprint deeply in our own steps of evolution, evolution, evolution. And yet we're so afraid of it. So afraid of it. To get hurt.
Yes. Yeah. And to get hurt, to like maybe feel that rejection or feel betrayal or feel all these things that, you know, hurt us so much because maybe that's what we really this is deep, but like if my partner hurts me, maybe that means I'm really a bad person or I'm really unlovable or I'm really, so their betrayal or their, whatever it is that gets projected can mean like, I I'm not worthy of love, And so it's so scary to face the possibility of that. And so the work is, right? The work is, how do we create relationship? How do we sustain relationship that continues to let us evolve and not keep us in that state of wondering, is this person going to hurt me? Or, is something bad going to happen? Like, yeah, how do we do that? Right? Like, that's the question. I I had a really interest. I had such a great conversation with somebody last night, and we were talking about this and how, like, when you're on MDMA, your whole heart expands. And he was saying that he knows somebody who, like, injects MDMA all day, and I was like, well, that's one way to do it, but since that's not sustainable, how do we continue to stay open even when people are human and they hurt us? How do we stay open to love?
So how do you do
Yeah.
it?
How do I do? I take lots of breaks from love. I take lots of time alone to, recalibrate. And
Mm,
yeah, I remember that my partner is not the source. You
mm,
know, they are not the source of my truth or my love, right? And that takes a lot of, I think, mindfulness to separate it and go, okay, they might be feeling something, they might be having a really hard time, they might be shutting down or even lashing out, right? But that first of all is not who they are. They're having a really hard time, right? And they're not the source of my love. I'm the source of my love. And I also source love from all different places, whether it's nature or friends or, God or my children. They're not the source. And I'm not gonna die if they don't love me, or if they leave me, or if they cheat on me, or if they yell at me, or, if they're not gonna be a part of my life. I'm gonna be okay.
yeah.
They are a source and they're not the source. Source is so much
Yeah.
bigger.
And don't you think we're at the times when we're learning how to not take it personally? Like not take someone's pain personally, but in a literal sense of way. It's like, wow, and nor kind of blame it. Oh, you're the one that needs to do the work. I'm healed. It's like, what? And I hear it here and there. I hear it when people say, I'm healed. And I was like, well, it's anyway, it's always the beginning, actually. It never ends. What ends is how we react to it and how we accept that we're all kind of in the same exact pool, say, trying to figure out almost like here and there similar things of how to be fulfilled in life, how to feel the zest to live, to continue, to love again, to experience these
Mhm.
qualities that are wrecking, like almost like big bangs, like explosive in a sense. And we're really just trying to understand the reality in its full complexity. And if you were to take the entire universe and all that we don't know, black matter, as example, and shrink it down in this little mini limited mind of ours, it's like it will explode in a literal sense. So it's not meant to understand everything, but what's meant is to accept, and for me to kind of go through this schooling of trying different things and loving and understanding that love is not the same every time I love. It has different qualities. It's meant for different things. It's not one thing. The same way, like pain is not just one kind, there are many kinds. And to be open to it, even when it hurts.
Even when it hurts. And sometimes you don't have to even find a new person to find a new way to love. Like, if you're in a long
Yes.
term relationship, like, this other universe is always expanding and you're always expanding. And yeah, you can continue to learn all the ways to love with even one person in that same way. So that's
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah, it's complicated, man. And
Yeah.
it's
Love.
like there's like this, but there's also, I think, this innate desire to, like, love and to be loved. I think, that's part of what we were talking about earlier, this desire to expand. I think we all have it in us, right? is we really just want to continue to expand our capacity to love and be loved.
Yeah. And I wrote the other day, I wrote a poem, a short little mini words that just show up, download.
Yeah.
And then I wrote, if I tell you I love you, will you take it personal? In a
I think
sense,
did you post that? Because I think did I see it or did I just like feel it from you? Because I
I
love
think
that.
you also liked it because in many ways
Okay.
it
Okay.
invites you to think my love
Mm,
is not yours only. Why take personal the way I love you, rather than if I hate you, would I take it personal? Oh, you sure will. Right? So, how much we actually understand the essence of love, the essence in general, that it's just showing up and it's not there all the time. I love in moments.
yes.
Right. I don't love you for the entire, actually, I'm not aware that I love you for the entire time. My attention is elsewhere, kids, school, purpose, but I love you in moments. And is my sustainability of that love for you gonna be there? And can I be open for it to end as well? It's like all these things that we're not really, we never question. It's like the ending, the beginning, the bigness, the vastness, the potential. We're so afraid of it because it's so powerful.
It is. It is so powerful and it can be so scary and also like the most like amazing reason to live, right? And it's so big and it takes so much courage. It really does.
Yes.
So much
So,
courage.
so if what would, how would you explain intimacy?
Ah,
What is intimacy for you?
yeah. What is it for me? Oh, that's a great question. So I'll start there, right? What does intimacy feel like for me? It is when I am very much like us at the retreat, when I am just able to fully be seen by another, to be exposed, to be naked metaphorically and, sometimes physically, just so naked and to show myself and to let you see me in
Mm.
all of it. To me, that's intimacy. Now, I think, that's kind of for me like the big intimacy, but like on a day-to-day level, what is intimacy? We're going to kind of bring it back to like 3D, like how do we express and create intimacy in our day-to-day lives? I think it's a big part about like being that way with ourselves. Like I try to sit every morning before I do anything and just feel like what is in me? Like how can I know me today? It's a new day, right? How do I feel me? What is actually here? Can I sit with it? Is there fear? Is there joy? Is there excitement? Is there tiredness, sluggishness, whatever? Like, can I just be with what is here with me? Right. And then I think for that reason, having practices like that or having, that kind of container for yourself, it allows you to kind of be that for others and what is here. Let me see what is here for you. What is alive in your world today. Into me I see, into me you see, into you I see. Can we see into each other, right? But day to day, maybe that's like a text. How's your heart today? What's alive in you today? Like, how can I support you today? What are you feeling? Like, that's, the logistics of intimacy is
Mm.
not only asking ourselves that question, but asking our beloved or our friends or our children or whoever, right? How can I be with you in what you're experiencing right now? And
Mm.
then when we can do that, right, when we feel safe and seen, I think that's when it's just like, all right, great. You see me, you feel me, like let's like kiss, like let's like be with each other even more. That's the physical intimacy, right? And let me be with you in your body now, and let me be with you in pleasure. Let me be with you in, connection and sensation. So
Mm.
yeah. So day to day, I think it's just being open to being with another person and being in their world, but also being really aware of your own, right?
Mm.
And letting them in and letting you into you, letting them into you, letting you into them. Like, yeah, it just kind of dissolves the barriers a little bit into
Yeah.
intimacy. That's a great question though. I don't think I've ever defined it. Like I'm an intimacy coach. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are we actually doing here? Um,
I love it.
yeah. And I think, just that safety piece is so important. It just, I'm safe to feel who I am, makes me safer to, be with you and who you are.
Mm.
So, yeah, what is intimacy for you? Like what comes up? Like what does that feel like for you?
And I'll add before I just start explaining mine. And
Mhm.
by the way, it's 1 hour since we're talking. Did you?
No, I haven't even looked at the clock.
Time flew by.
Wow.
I Do you have a couple more minutes?
Yes.
Okay. So I think you pointed out something so important, which is first you're intimate with yourself. You sit in the morning in a silence. You collect yourself. You collect yourself from whatever that you were while dreaming, because we leave the body and then we come back in with a different sets of energies. And every morning we wake up kind of a little bit more to our reality, but also different. And now I have to collect myself. What you're saying is like, and I'm so intimate with my process, and I'm in my own private chambers of heart, of soul, of everything else. And I'm sitting there and I'm feeling my way. I'm feeling myself. I'm full of myself. This is how the meaning of
Mm-hmm.
the words can change. I'm getting full of myself. And only when I fill my cup with it can I actually see you also filling up yourself with yourself and honoring your entire process. Mine takes 3 hours sometimes entire week. Yours might take. It's true. And it's so different in nature. And it's never the same. It's authentic in its origin. It's like it's meant
Right.
to be changed, changeable, modifiable, but it's very intimate in itself. So the intimacy in this case, you're saying it's like it's such an intimate a process where I actually need to remove all the noise in order to find me. Because
Hmm.
as the social media, the partner, the family, everything is noise, 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 noise. And I just I need to come back to me in order to be fully me. Watch this, how it plays out. Completely myself. That comes with rational way of thinking. I have both sides, and I know now how to react to the world because I'm not fulfilled with what you said I need to do, what you said I need to do, what she said, he said, rather than I am in my authentic expression. And today I feel being silent. Today I feel like writing. Tomorrow I feel like being super social, and it's going to change. So call me crazy, but I am changing, and I can stand for it only when I know of it within me. So I
Hmm.
really have this required part of me that it invites me to be intimate with it so I can understand how can I show up to the world. And if you're standing in front of me as my partner who I lived with 15 years together, and you kind of let, oh, another witch came out today, or Royal Highness showed up, you're in your PMS, all these assumptions. It's like, no, but I'm going to be able to stand for me the way I am. And I will then invite you to come and explain to you because now I know what it is that you need, but you need to tell me what you need. And this is where I think it's like, tell me your language because I know mine. I will be able to explain mine, but I need to learn yours. My willingness to come and learn how you speak. Is it concrete? Is it direct? Is it more silence? Is it song? Is it metaphors? Is it poems? It shows my love for you, right? It's
Hmm.
like, I want to know. And something inside of you is inviting me again to fall in love every morning with you because I see something in you that really arouses me for life, arouses me on a soul level, on the poetry. You're my muse in many sense. So I can and let me just explain this. This is where intimacy with self becomes intimacy with the other. And even then, I can only meet you halfway. The rest is yours. I cannot go all the way to you. I will only give the best I have available. And the best I have available is always given out. And I need to fill myself up in these requirements. I need solo time, I need, silence, I need meditation, yoga. These are requirements. And then when I fill myself up, I'm able to give myself to the world and I show up as me, not as fake self or something, but as whole of me. And I will come to meet you because I am willing and I love you. I am in love with something in you that I desire to meet halfway. And I will give everything I have, but show me your language and meet me halfway. And I think this is where we are like, I meet me all the way. Well, it no longer works. Or I sit here and knock
Right.
on my door. No, you have to do half work. But
Yes.
for that, you have to have some sort of love, some sort of desire towards blending with that energy, something that it's unknowing to your mind, something that you're not able to comprehend, something bigger, higher, bigger, larger than you, that it's inviting you and alluring you to come in and blend together. That's my level of intimacy.
Wow. Oh, I love it. I love there's two parts that really stood out for me is like I want to know how you want to be loved and then you've got to meet me halfway. Like that's so important, right? And yeah, I think, probably one of the best ways to create a sustainable loving relationship is to have both people who have a connection to a higher power or energy or belief system, right? That they're again they're sourced, they're connected to at that deep level so that they can, yeah. I think it's so important. And I love how you just drew that beautiful picture. I bet you are just a wonderful partner to be with. And whoever gets to be with you is so incredibly lucky and blessed.
Mm. Only if we can meet halfway.
Right. That's it.
And, when we meet halfway, it's the desire then to disappear, but not in a sense of, like not the tragic way, but rather than the desire to dissolve so much.
Hmm.
And I think this is where this essence of poetic love comes in, this romantic side, right? So imagine making love with this ways and getting intimate with someone where you then crack open your entire home, your temple, and then you take it so slow and intentional. Do you tune in into blending in masculine and feminine energies and everything else that comes in? But I can do it. Will you be able to meet me there? I have no expectation. But then I am allowing you to enter into my space of wonders, okay, of temple. I'm cracked open to invite you to come in and be naked with me. How do I know? Here's the caveat. How do I know I can trust you
Hmm.
to change me? And how do I know I'm about to allow you to change me and alter me in a ways of either getting lighter, disappearing, or getting heavier?
Hmm.
This distinction is, am I lighter or heavier? Am I
Yeah.
am I are you supporting my evolution where I'm expanding so much so that I disappear in the ether? Or am I becoming so much heavier? This is how I defer actually. Are we actually meant to expand together, or are we supporting each other in a different way? So there is a choice which way you want to evolve, because both ways is evolutionary for you. But what is telling you where is your path, up there or down there? Like it,
Absolutely. How can I trust if I let you in that it's going to be in the way that I need it to? And then how do I trust myself that once I realize it's not what I need, that I'm going to, you know, say that's no longer serving
yeah.
me? I mean, how many times and how many people have I seen that are just like, I just don't know. I don't know if they're or if I'm expanding with this person or if they're bringing me down or I don't know and maybe I don't have the courage to find out. maybe we just keep things status quo. Then I don't have to leave. Then I don't have to shake up my world, you know? So
Oh,
there's so much there, right? So
yeah.
yeah, it's such a beautiful path. Like if we did nothing else but just love, right? Like that would be enough in our world. And then on top of it, we like do a million other things, right? Like love is such a possibility for our evolution.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I call it a superpower because it's never the same. It's always different. And we try to formalize it in a sense of this structure, that structure, and then we try to almost like create it as requirement for partnership. Till death do us apart. Lock it.
Lock it in, baby. And you're like,
Lock it
ugh.
so it doesn't move anywhere. And then we try to scientifically explain what is happening with the dopamine and hormonal changes. It's like, but we're missing out the whole point of it. Like, we're missing out the whole essence of what created the universe. And I think that's where the poetry comes in because you can't really sit there and explain the art in any ways. It's untangible. It's untangible.
Absolutely. I love how you say intangible. It's so
Untangible. Yeah, yeah,
cute.
intangible.
It's beautiful. Oh,
Ah, wow.
yeah. I feel like just so alive from this conversation. Just to be able to have this time and space with you has just, it's really filled me up with, yes, just I feel lifted and I feel full and just so grateful that
Same.
we get to have this conversation and just be in each other's sparkles.
Same. It's so supportive and so safe and so nurturing in many ways. I love it. And I love that our time just shrinked in 1 minute. To me, this we just started. I love it. It was really, really beautiful to exchange, and we never even thought that we will go this deep really fast. But it's very it's a to be met at that level with someone is so beautiful and everything. And if this is done once a year, this is how powerful it is. Like if you have this sense of being seen, loved, connected, accepted, acknowledged, valuable, valid, all these
Understood,
things.
right?
Yes.
Just all of it. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Even a moment or an hour can completely last, right? I love that you said even once a year, right? But it does, it changes us. Just like the retreat changed us, right? On that cellular level. It's just like it's kind of like this, I feel like a waterfall, just like
Yeah.
a waterfall. Okay. Now I'm cleansed and filled up. And yeah, it's been a
And we'll
wonderful
find out
waterfall.
and we'll find out much later about what was this all about because it did shape.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. It was
Thank
so
you so
good.
much. Does your Zoom do this? Do you get the hearts?
Oh, hold on. Do you have to shake it? How did I? Oh,
I
I
like
guess
that
I'll
you're
take your
shaking it.
love.
That's really
I
cute.
meant to receive today.
Yes, today is your day to get all the hearts.
Sending you so much love.
Yes, so much love to you too.
Oh,
Mwah!
thank you.
I'll see you soon. Thank
Ciao,
you.
ciao. Ciao.